Hey there, BlisteringFaith here. Let's talk about a guy who's basically the internet's quirky, eccentric, and hilarious uncle, JonTron. And no, I'm not talking about that one uncle who tells the same 3 jokes at every family gathering. I mean the fun uncle who turns an everyday trip to the supermarket into a thrilling expedition to the center of the earth. Strap in, folks, because we're digging deep into the catacombs of JonTron's past. Our story begins with a young man named Jon Jafari, born and bred in Los Angeles, California. Jon was the kind of kid who, instead of asking for a bike or the latest toy, probably asked Santa for a video game console. I mean, we're talking about the guy who in the future would spend 20 minutes critiquing everything from the graphics to the physics of Barbie games.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Can you imagine him doing anything else? So naturally, Jon started a YouTube channel. On August 31st, 2010, the first JonTronShow video was uploaded. It was rough, it was raw, and it was uniquely JonTron. And you know what they say, you can take the gamer out of the review, but you can't take the reviewer out of the gamer. Wait, is that how that goes?
Nope.
Jon's comedic style quickly emerged, a blend of absurdist humor, expressive animation, and lots of yelling. Just as a fine wine is fermented, JonTron's humor was both unique and something of an acquired taste. At first you'd think, what's this man going on about? And then, before you knew it, you'd be in a laughing fit, gasping for air and replaying the video to catch all the jokes you missed. Oh, let's not forget the beginning of his fruitful partnership with his pet bird, Jock. Jock quickly became a beloved part of JonTron's show. Who knew that a bird could have such a knack for comedy? But it's JonTron's show. Anything can happen, and that's part of the charm. So with a promising start, JonTron set off on his journey. He wasn't immediately skyrocketed to YouTube fame. No, like a true hero of an RPG game, he had to grind for his XP. But boy, did that grind pay off. Brace yourselves, because the story of JonTron's rise to stardom is as explosive as a Mentos in a Diet Coke experiment. And that, my dear audience, is where we will pick up next time in Scene 2. Trust me, it's a wild ride. So make sure you've got your popcorn ready. And for now, remember to drink plenty of water, take a stretch break, and always, I mean always, question the sanity of a man who is willing to play bootleg Disney games for your amusement. Welcome back to our expose on the man, the myth, the legend, JonTron. When we left our hero, he was just a fledgling YouTuber chirping in the vast wilderness of the internet, but little did the world know the bird was about to take flight. JonTron was the underdog in an 80s movie montage, gaining strength, refining his skills, and winning over the hearts of the masses. While that, and probably stuffing his face with pizza rolls at 3 a.m. while playing Banjo-Kazooie. Who's to say, really? The JonTron Show began to gain traction with Jon's reviews of classic games like Final Hallway. Wait, that's not right. Final Fantasy. That's the one. Jon's blend of humor, animation, and let's not forget his trusty sidekick, Jock, struck a chord with audiences everywhere. His critique of Aquaman Battle for Atlantis even gotten approval from Aquaman himself. Alright, maybe not.
Bruh.
But I bet if Aquaman would have seen it, he would have laughed his ass off. Jon's YouTube fame was cemented with his notorious Game Grumps stint. For those who don't know, Game Grumps is basically what happens when you mix comedians, video games, and probably way too much caffeine. Joining forces with Aaron Hansen, Jon skyrocketed from a well-loved internet character to a full-blown YouTube sensation. He was like a comet, except instead of causing mass extinction, he caused mass laughter. But Jon's time on Game Grumps wasn't all sunshine and roses. He left the show in 2013, and in true internet fashion, fans launched into a frenzy of speculation. Was it a secret feud? Did he lose a high-stakes game of Mario Kart? No.
Nope.
Jon simply decided to focus on his own channel.
Wait a minute!
I know, less dramatic than we'd hoped, but we respect the hustle. After leaving Game Grumps, Jon's channel truly took flight. Much like a phoenix, or maybe more appropriately, a game character with an extra life, JonTron rose and his channel became a unique space for his zany humor and unforgettable game critiques. It was like a rebirth, a renaissance, if you will. The Mona Lisa of YouTube channels if Mona Lisa was making faces and yelling about video games. And now, dear viewers, we have arrived at the doorstep of Scene 3. We've seen Jon's journey, his rise to stardom, but what is it about his humor that sets him apart from the rest? We'll get ready to dive deep into the psyche of JonTron. Don't worry, I'm pretty sure we won't find a secret stash of bad Sonic games, Pretty sure. In this chapter, we'll dive deeper into JonTron's comedy style. Now, JonTron's comedy is like a well-aged wine. It's nuanced, it's layered, and wait, who am I kidding? It's more like chugging a 2-liter bottle of soda and trying not to belch. It's unfiltered and hilariously unpredictable. There's an element of absurdity to it, much like a kangaroo in a top hat. It's completely unexpected, but you can't help but laugh. What truly sets JonTron's humor apart is his ability to blend comedic styles. He's a master of slapstick, physical humor. Think Three Stooges, but with more video game controllers and less eye-poking. His quick wit and razor-sharp sarcasm are reminiscent of a stand-up comic, while his penchant for absurd and surreal humor gives his content a unique twist. It's like a Salvador Dali decided to be a YouTuber. Jon's humor also stems from his infectious personality. The man is as animated as a cartoon character, and his energetic delivery and over-the-top reactions add a level of hilarity to his content. It's like watching a human Looney Tunes episode. Jon is the kind of guy who would make watching paint dry entertaining. Seriously, if he ever released a video titled JonTron Watches Paint Dry, you bet it would be a riot. And let's not forget about his comedic timing. It's so precise, I'm convinced he's secretly a Swiss watchmaker. He knows just when to drop a joke, when to shout in a mock outrage, and when to deliver that killer punchline. He'd probably make a snail race hilarious just by commenting on it. But perhaps the most iconic part of Jon's comedy style is the use of, we'll call it, colorful language. And by colorful, I mean a kaleidoscope of profanity and a spectrum of off-color remarks and a rainbow of, well, you get the idea. But even with this, Jon manages to make it funny and engaging rather than offensive. It's a delicate tightrope to walk, but Jon does it with the grace of a slightly intoxicated gymnast. So now that we've peeked behind the curtain, dissected the comedic genius of JonTron, how does this humor translate into his infamous game reviews? Well, dear viewers, that's a story for the next scene. Until then, remember to keep your humor game strong and your reaction game stronger. Or, just yell loudly at video games. It works for Jon. Now let's open the Pandora's box of fun that is JonTron's game reviews. Strap yourselves in because it's about to get crazy. Like a roller coaster ride with a coked up squirrel at the controls. You see, JonTron's approach to game reviews is a bit like watching a drunk guy try to assemble IKEA furniture. It's a beautiful disaster you can't tear your eyes away from. His reviews don't just break the mold, they take the mold, smash it with a hammer, set it on fire, and then punt it in a river. Why? Because Jon doesn't do traditional reviews. No, that's too mainstream for our boy. Instead, Jon uses his reviews as a platform to vent, rant, and create some of the most absurd and hilarious content on YouTube. His comedic timing shines as he punctuates his critiques with jokes, antics, and those ever-loving colorful phrases we talked about. He's less of a reviewer and more of a comedic demolisher? Yeah, that sounds about right. One aspect that sets Jon apart is his tendency to review obscure, often ridiculous, bad games. While most reviewers are busy debating the merits of the latest AAA game, Jon's over here cracking jokes about some bizarre 80s game about a tomato. Yeah, you heard me right. A tomato. And somehow he makes it wildly entertaining. If that's not talent, I don't know what is. Jon also has a way of making his reviews incredibly immersive. He throws himself headfirst into the chaos of these games, and as viewers, we're dragged along for the ride. It's like being in the passenger seat with the stunt driver. Terrifying, exhilarating, and you're not entirely sure you'll survive. Even with the comedy, Jon's reviews also are genuinely informative. Amidst the jokes and antics, he manages to deliver insightful critique and meaningful analysis. It's like finding a nugget of wisdom in the sea of, well, not-so-wise nuggets. He's the unlikely professor in the University of Bad Video Games. But what truly makes Jon's reviews iconic is the way he engages with his audience. He doesn't just talk at us, he brings us into the fold, making us complicit in his madcap adventures. It's like being a part of a very strange, very funny family. A family that spends way too much time laughing at pixelated monstrosities. But as we all know, not all of Jon's videos are created equal. Some shine brighter than others, like deranged stars in the YouTube cosmos. So stick around because in our next scene, it's going to be a wild ride. Alrighty, let's continue down this JonTron roller coaster as we're about to take a whirlwind tour through some of Jon's most memorable episodes. Prepare to laugh, groan, and question your life choices as we dive headfirst into the good, the bad, and the downright hilarious. Let's kick things off with the golden oldie, the Takeshi Challenge review. Oh boy, this was a hoot. Jon showed us what happens when a famous Japanese actor designs a game. Spoiler alert, it involves a lot of karate and divorce.
I want a divorce.
Jon's facial expressions alone in this episode were priceless. The man's got more rubber in his face than a tire factory. Then there was that episode on Food Fight. Everyone wanted to see a food-themed parody of Toy Story that's so bad it's almost good? No? Well, too bad, because JonTron served it up anyways. Watching Jon suffer through this cinematic disaster was like watching a man trapped in a room with a live raccoon. Funny for us, but not so much for him. Who can forget the plug-and-play consoles? Jon introduced us to an array of bizarre off-brand gaming consoles. Watching him lose his mind over these ridiculous rip-offs was like watching a slow descent into madness, and we loved every minute of it. Then there was the bootleg Pokemon games episode. Here, Jon dived into the weird world of bootleg Pokemon games. It was like watching someone explore a black market filled with malformed Pikachu clones and nonsensical storylines. The absurdity of these games combined with Jon's reactions, comedy gold. One of my personal favorites is the Starcade series, where Jon reviews every Star Wars game known to man. It's like watching a Star Wars marathon with a snarky friend who can't help but crack jokes during the intense scenes. His reactions to some of these games were a spectacle in themselves. You could see his soul leaving his body, one tune at a time. Jon's most memorable episodes are those that blend his unique humor with his genuine passion for gaming and media. Each video is a treasure trove of hilarity, insight, and more than a few WTF moments. It's like opening a box of chocolates and finding a bunch of tiny clowns inside. Bizarre, unexpected, but undeniably entertaining. So there's a quick rundown of JonTron's most memorable episodes, and believe me, that was just the tip of JonTron iceberg. Stick around because up next we're going behind the scenes in Scene 6. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. It's time to delve into some uncharted territory here, daring to venture into the shadowy realm known as behind the scenes of JonTron. Strap on your adventure hats, grab a flashlight, and pray to the YouTube gods that we make it out alive. First off, it's important to know that JonTron isn't a one-man show. Sure, he's the charismatic funny guy in front of the camera, but he's got a dedicated team working behind the scenes to bring his crazy ideas to life. It's like trying to run a circus. Sure, the clown's getting all the laughs, but someone's got to feed the elephants and clean up well. You get the idea. The editing of JonTron's videos is nothing short of masterful. It's like a bizarre jigsaw puzzle where the pieces are made of random game clips, stock footage, and Jon's face. Yet somehow, it all comes together to form a coherent, hilarious mess. Props to Andrew and Jon himself for their editing skills. It's like watching a chef turn a pile of random ingredients into a gourmet meal, if that meal was a bizarre blend of gaming, pop culture references, and duck noises. Then there's the production value. Jon's videos are surprisingly high quality considering the madcap content. The lighting, the camera angles, the set design, it's all carefully considered and executed. It's like walking into a high-end boutique and finding it stocked with whoopee cushions and rubber chickens. Unexpected, but somehow it works. And let's not forget about the props and costumes. I mean, where does one even find a suit of armor, a giant fake rock, or a parrot on a short notice? And yet, JonTron and his team managed to pull it off, adding another layer of hilarity to his videos. It's like a treasure hunt where the treasure is a perfect prop for a joke about a 30-year-old video game. Then there's also the writing and scripting. Each of the JonTron episodes have a carefully constructed symphony of jokes, game critiques, and pop culture references. It's like watching a comedian, a gamer, and a pop culture nerd have a conversation, and that conversation is being broadcast to millions of people. Jon's scriptwriting prowess is a testament to his comedic timing and understanding of his audience. On top of this, there's a sense of unity and of fun. From the outtakes and the bloopers released, it's clear that Jon and his crew genuinely enjoy what they do, and that, my friends, is the magic ingredient. It's like a family that argues over who gets the last slice of pizza and who wants to wash the dishes. Chaotic, noisy, but full of love. There you have it, a sneak peek behind the curtain of JonTron's wacky world, but hold on to your seats because up next we're heading into stormier waters. We're about to get into controversies. Now then, grab a life jacket and prepare yourself. It's not always smooth sailing in the seas of internet fame, and we're diving into some choppy waters as we look at JonTron's encounters with controversy. But hey, as my grandma used to say, if you're not making waves, you're not at sea. Or was it, stop playing video games and go outside? One of those. Controversy. It's like that spicy sauce you add to your burrito. A little bit can give it a kick, but too much and you're spending the night regretting your life choices. Unfortunately, JonTron has had his share of controversy-induced heartburn. A prime example of his ill-received comments on race and immigration during a live stream debate in 2017. Suddenly, JonTron was the jalapeno in the YouTube burrito, making things a bit too spicy for comfort. But let's pause for a moment and appreciate the irony. Here we have JonTron, a comedian known for his outlandish humor, stirring up controversy in a serious political debate. It's like finding out that the class clown is running for class president. You're not really sure whether to laugh or be concerned. Despite the backlash, JonTron proved to be quite the sailor, navigating through the rough waters of controversy with an apology and a commitment to stick to what he does best, making us laugh. I guess he decided to leave spicy sauce to the professionals and stick to the mild salsa as a video game commentator. However, even his videos haven't been exempt from criticism. Some have pointed out that Jon's humor can occasionally dip into the realm of inappropriate or offensive, and by occasionally, I mean about as often as I actually spend my entire paycheck on video games. But hey, we're not here to judge, right? Right? Yet, in a weird way, these controversies are part of what makes JonTron so relatable. He's not just some untouchable celebrity who always says the right thing, he's a regular guy that makes mistakes and just like the rest of us. It's like watching your best friend trip over a flat surface. You cringe, but you can't help but laugh because, let's be honest, you've been there. To wrap this scene up, JonTron's encounters with controversy are a testament to the unpredictable nature of internet fame. It's a bit like riding a roller coaster while juggling chainsaws, exhilarating, but fraught with potential disasters. So as we sail into some calmer waters and focus on his loyal fan base and his community, let's take a moment to appreciate the highs, lows, and hilarious mishaps that make up this wild ride of JonTron's YouTube journey. After all, isn't that what makes it so entertaining? Alright, so well after surviving that controversy storm in the last scene, it's time to drop an anchor into the calm harbor of this scene. We've got sun, sea, and an island full of JonTron fans ready to welcome us, and when I say fans, I mean some of the most loyal, rabid, bird-loving folks you'll ever likely meet. Now, JonTron's fanbase is like a gigantic pizza with a whole lot of toppings. You've got the gamers, the meme creators, the people who just want to laugh, and of course the bird enthusiasts who arrived for the parrot and stayed for Jon. It's a diverse mix, but one thing ties them all together: their unwavering dedication to the man, the myth, the JonTron. Seriously, JonTron fans are like a legion of gaming watchdogs. They monitor every update, analyze every post, and celebrate every new video like it's the second coming of Mario. If Jon sneezed in a video, you can bet there'd be a 20-minute fan analysis of the symbolic meaning of this sneeze within the hour. But you know what they say about love and war. The same fans who lovingly dissect Jon's videos can turn into a protective pack of wolves when he's under attack. Remember that spicy controversy burrito from the last scene? Well, while some fans did step back, many railed behind JonTron, defending him with the ferocity of a bird defending its nest. And by bird, I of course mean Jon. Perhaps the most impressive part of JonTron's fanbase is its endurance. I mean, these folks have survived video droughts that would have wiped out lesser fanbases. When JonTron went on a 6-month hiatus, they didn't disperse. They huddled together for warmth, subsisting on a diet of memes and reruns, waiting patiently for their leader to return. Now that's loyalty you can't buy. The heart of the community is, without a doubt, the JonTron subreddit. The place is like a bustling town square of JonTronville. Here, fans gather to share memes, theories, and occasionally heartfelt messages of appreciation for Jon and his work. It's like a 24/7 JonTron fan convention, but without the need to wear pants. Concluding this scene, JonTron's fanbase is a testament to his impact on YouTube. These dedicated fans are the backbone of his success, providing both endless support and a dash of hilarity. So, as we sail into scene 9, let's remember, without the pizza of the fanbase, JonTron wouldn't be the YouTube titan he is today. And now let's sail towards a deeper look at JonTron's lasting impact on the YouTube community. Be warned, it's a bit like jumping into the deep end of the pool, where the water's full of memes, gaming references, and the echoes of 1,000 voices screaming "Eck!" So brace yourselves. I am about to show you a whole new side of YouTube, a JonTron side. JonTron's influence is about as subtle as a sledgehammer to the face. You've seen it, you've felt it, and you've probably laughed at it. His unique brand of humor and his over-the-top reviews, his sheer JonTroniness, has seeped into YouTube like coffee into a sugar cube. And that's a pretty sweet analogy, if I do say so myself. YouTube culture owes a lot to JonTron. And I'm not just talking about the overabundance of bird memes. Jon's style of comedic game review has spawned countless imitators, but as the saying goes, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, or in this case, the sincerest form of, hey, this guy's onto something. And speaking of onto something, let's not forget about JonTron's trailblazing role in the Let's Play and review communities. Before JonTron, these genres were like a pair of old jeans, comfortable but not particularly exciting. Jon came in like a splash of bleach, turning them into a pair of wicked cool, distressed denims. Suddenly everyone wanted a piece of the action. But JonTron's influence isn't confined to gaming. Oh no, he's got his fingers in a whole lot of pies. His impact on meme culture is astronomical. JonTron's quotes and moments have been transformed into popular memes that have circulated far beyond his own fanbase. If you've ever seen a random "eck" in the comment section or a "I ain't having this shit" reaction gif, you've witnessed JonTron's influence firsthand. And let's not forget about the sheer number of YouTubers inspired by JonTron. The man has practically built a comedy empire, a legacy of YouTubers following in his footsteps. He's like the YouTube equivalent of a proud dad, watching his kids play in the sandbox he built. To say JonTron left a mark on YouTube culture would be an understatement. He's more like a comet that's blazed through the YouTube skies, leaving a trail of memes, laughter, and bird jokes in its wake. So as we move into our final scene, let's keep in mind that no matter where JonTron's journey takes him, his influence on YouTube culture will always be a part of his legacy. Now buckle up because we're about to zoom into the future. Don't worry, we won't leave any bird behind. And here we are, folks, at the final frontier, the last hurrah, the end of the line. Welcome to scene 10. Cue the dramatic music, grab your popcorn, and let's dive into that crystal ball, shall we? Let's be honest, predicting the future of JonTron's channel is a bit like trying to predict the trajectory of a drunken pigeon. It's unpredictable, likely to take unexpected turns, and probably going to leave a mess everywhere. But that's what we love about JonTron, isn't it? His unpredictability is a part of the charm. Now, given JonTron's track record, we can safely assume there will be more hilariously off-kilter game reviews, possibly games so obscure they might as well be from another dimension. More dramatic skits, more Jacques, and definitely more Eck. But seriously, if Eck ever gets removed from the JonTron vocabulary, it would be like taking the rainbow out of a unicorn. But here's where things get really interesting. With his ever-growing fanbase and influence on YouTube, the potential for JonTron's future endeavors is immense. Could we see more collaborations with other YouTubers, a venture into other genres, maybe a live-action movie with JonTron as the unlikely hero battling evil with his bird sidekick and an arsenal of bad game puns? Who knows? JonTron always had a knack for pushing the envelope, and we definitely can't expect him to continue doing so. Whether it's experimenting with new content types, venturing into other media platforms, or just sticking to his tried and true formula of comedy gold, JonTron is not one to rest. I mean, come on, the guy managed to turn a robotic parrot into a beloved YouTube character. If that doesn't scream unpredictable genius, I don't know what does. So as we wrap up our journey through his history, humor, and his general weirdness of JonTron, let's remember that the future of JonTron's channel is as bright as the neon colors on his beloved Hawaiian shirts, and as unpredictable as his next game review. As we finish, it's clear that whether you're a casual viewer or a die-hard fan, JonTron's channel is a roller coaster ride worth being on. Thanks for tuning in. This has been BlisteringFaith, signing off. Remember, keep ecking.